I genuinely believe USAID was funneling money to prop up media and big channels like Colbert getting canceled and whatever. I think directly or indirectly, the U.S. government, maybe it was USAID or otherwise, was funding sock puppet bot accounts online to prop up liberal personalities to make it look like they were getting traffic. Because we saw this when Elon announced he was buying Twitter. All these liberals, you guys remember this? Yep. They lost hundreds of thousands to millions of followers. When Elon won the court battle and he was going to buy, it was like someone at Twitter said, quick, burn everything. And they started eliminating millions of bot accounts.
Yep. I think it's the same thing, the current debate with removing illegals from the census, because when you even look at the supposed 50-50 split of America and how competitive every election is, and it comes down to Pennsylvania, that's all fake. You look at a state like California, I mean, massively inflated in the electoral count because of illegal aliens.
No. What if it's crazier than this? What if the new census finds that we didn't track this, but there's census fraud? What if Democrats in California were increasing the amount of people in the census count because nobody checks? Right. And it's going to turn out that California's actually only got 36 million people. Or what do they have? 50-something, they claim?
Not sure. 16?
16
How
million?
many people live in California?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, I'm saying total people.
Oh, I don't know.
The illegal immigrant argument might actually just be a red herring. The real issue might be that Democrats have been just claiming more people live there when they don't.
39.5 million.
Right.
39,529,000.
And what if it comes out, it's like, actually, they added 3 to 4 million to the number, giving themselves extra seats without actually anyone living there.
That's dead internet theory, but in the physical world.
Let me ask you, how many times have we or anyone else talked about census fraud?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. So I wouldn't be surprised with Trump doing the census move now if the reason they're freaking out is they're like, it's not about illegal immigrants. It's about, they do ballot harvesting, and they do. We watch them do it, and people get paid to collect ballots. Why would I not believe at the same time they're saying, that census form you got filled out? They said 3 people live there? Make it 6.
It's like when Doge found all those dead people getting benefits.
Right.
Like a 190-year-old guy getting benefits still.
Yep.
There's a lot of dead people who vote still.
Consider how much that warps your understanding of American politics and the supposed competitiveness. You look back to 2024, it's like, wow, no, actually, this country is not 50-50. It's the entire majority or split of Democrats or liberals the past at least decade or so is essentially fake. It is.
I think the bigger picture story in regards to Trump bringing in the National Guard and taking over the Metropolitan Police is this another example of him flexing his executive authority on the Democrats. I think he's frankly being politically wise not to let a good tragedy go to waste. We saw Big Balls get beat up. That was that former Doge staffer, I believe it was. And there's bloody pictures of him. And he saw the opportunity, despite whatever the crime rates in D.C. may be. He's like, I'm going to take over. And I think he's using this as a roadmap to do in other cities. He actually implied it in the press briefing today that he might do this in other cities. He mentioned Chicago. He mentioned New York. So I think this is just another example of him trying to flex those muscles. I think we should be honest here, too. D.C.'s an 80-20 area. He's taking control of where Democrats work and live and flexing his muscles onto them and saying, I'm going to bring the National Guard.
No, but let's also not forget that all of the highest crime cities are run by Democrats.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he's going to use that as an excuse to bring in the National Guard to all of this. Not as an excuse, as a reason.
I don't think it's an excuse or the targeting of Democrats. It's just a correlation. Not a cause. So they're going to say Trump is targeting Democrats. No, it's just that all the worst cities are Democrat run. Trump's not saying, I'm coming after you, Democrats. He's saying, crime is really bad. I'm coming to your city.
Yeah, and he also did bring in the National Guard, people say a little bit too soon, into Los Angeles or wherever those anti-ICE protests were in California.
Well, the city was already on fire, bro.
Yeah, and
I foresee him doing that in other cities down the line.
Look at the results of him bringing the National Guard into L.A. It worked. Right? Like the whole point of the National Guard going to LA was they were there to basically do crowd control while ICE did their jobs. And that's probably the blueprint that he's going to use in DC and other places. The military or the National Guard will be there for crowd control to make sure that people aren't interfering with law enforcement carrying out their duties, because he federalized law enforcement as well. So if there's National Guard on site, it's only there to make sure that law enforcement, who is being directed by the Trump administration now, by the federal government, can carry out their job.
Should he do it in other cities?
if crime rises to the rate or protests or riots aren't going to be able to be controlled by the police departments that exist there.
What do you mean if crime rises to the rate?
Like, I don't know
what the murder rate in our cities is.
Like of DC specifically, I think you said it was something
27.
like 27.
You know what Chicago
out of
is?
every 100,000.
Chicago's
half
20.
Of that.
You know what Detroit is? 37. Baltimore is 45.
So the question is, what do you think the line should be for when he sends in the National Guard or has to nationalize whatever police department?
You know, I'm going to be liberal and say 10.
10. Okay.
Okay, but you know, we can take a look at the per capita deaths of let's do Malmö, Sweden, because I went there and that was a big deal. It's 1. And so we look at these other countries where their murder rate is 1 per 100,000, and we're supposed to be happy that DC's got a higher murder rate than what did they say, like Bogota and Colombia or whatever? Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. The crazy thing is they're like, crime's down. Yeah, but it's still 27 murders per 100,000. What is wrong with you people? It's like you're watching a dude smash up your house and light on fire, and you're like, yeah, but they're smashing up less than they did yesterday. I don't care. Stop them. Stop it all. So the Insurrection Act, this is a funny argument. Trump can invoke the Insurrection Act and deploy active duty military for law enforcement if the laws are not being enforced at the local level. One could argue that right now, any reasonable person would be like, yeah, Chicago ain't got no law enforcement. And the local cops might say, our hands are tied. They won't let us do it. NYPD might say the same thing. I say this. If the unions in these, here's a good criteria. If the police unions, I'm not a big fan of the police unions, but any public sector unions or any
unions. Unions are awful.
If the police union come out and say, every time we make an arrest, they're let go. We can't enforce the law. Trump goes, okay, send in the troops. The police have said it. I think that's criteria. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.